It's a something strange on your YouTube channel. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters! It's a something weird and it don't look good. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Happy Ghostbusters Day! Happy Ghostbusters Day! I don't know if the Ray Parker Jr. song is that copyrighted or not, so I improvised! Drop a like for the improvement on his song, and you can also leave a comment on how good or bad I did with that song. Greetings, geeks and nerds. I'm Lazy Universe and White and Nerdy, and yes, I know that it's not Monday, but I'm gonna do a video early, so you should consider this a treat, if you will. And this is Ghostbusters Day, so happy Ghostbusters Day. This is the 41st, I think, anniversary of Ghostbusters, and so I thought, instead of reviewing the movie, which I do a lot of reviews and everything, and instead of reviewing something special for it, like the animated series, the movies, or even the video game, mind you, which I talked about on my top 10 favorite Xbox 360 games, I thought, why not, for the hell of it, I just talk about my memories of the first time that I saw Ghostbusters. And I thought that that'd be a pretty good thing to do for you guys, and you guys can get to hear nostalgic stories. And if you guys want to hear more of these nostalgic stories, then you can drop a like or leave a comment in the thing down below. And because it's like, I do so many reviews and everything like that, I just want to try to do different things on this channel, and I thought, talking about my childhood, the first time that I've seen Ghostbusters, it'd make for a pretty interesting and entertaining video. So, for Ghostbusters Day and happy Ghostbusters Day to everybody, I'm going to talk about the very first time I remember seeing Ghostbusters way back in my childhood. And this should be entertaining. Again, if you want to see videos like this, you can leave a comment down below. I think that they'd be pretty cool and entertaining to talk about. So, let me stop rambling and stop babbling like an idiot. Let's talk about the motherfucking Ghostbusters. So, fun fact, I remember seeing Ghostbusters when I was younger and always wanted to own it until finally at a tag sale I found a box set. I don't have the box out no more, but I found a box set of Ghostbusters 1 and 2 with a little booklet. It's a very interesting booklet to read about the series and everything. And Ghostbusters have always been one of my favorite film franchises. Of course, that's nothing to say. And I was born in 95, so of course I didn't see this movie when it was new or anything like that. I believe I saw this movie back in 1999, to be specific. I think that's when I first officially have seen Ghostbusters on TV. And the one that got me into it is my grandmother. She's the one that really kind of got me into watching this, because I think, if memory serves me right, when I was 4 years old, I think I was sick at one point. Didn't go to preschool or anything, and my grandmother usually had me watching movies. Of course, that's why one reason that I grew up loving movies was because of my grandmother, and I still hold that love because of her and everything. I grew up with Zorro. I grew up with The Lone Ranger because of her. And one of the films that she happened to introduce me to was Ghostbusters. I remember her asking me about it, and I was like, Ghostbusters? What the heck are these guys? Are these guys like superheroes? And she goes, well, more or less so. She goes, I think that you'd like it. And she didn't tell me it was a horror comedy, just similar to Tremors, which was the first horror movie I've ever watched. So I went into this, and I'm like, I'll take Grandma's word for it, even though she traumatized me with Twister. Might have to do a video about how Twister traumatized me as a kid, but again, going back to Ghostbusters, she talked to me about it, and I was like, yeah, why the heck not? I'm like, I would enjoy watching Ghostbusters, and this was not what I was expecting. I was expecting, superheroes battling ghosts or whatever, and I guess that's what Ghostbusters is, but that's not entirely truthfully what Ghostbusters actually is. It's about these guys who are down on their luck when then all of a sudden they happen to discover that the creepy and supernatural are actually real, which is a thing that they want to base their job upon. Which, of course, at first, nobody believes them. Everybody thinks that they're complete morons or complete fucking hacks. That is until the strange and unusual starts to happen. And the first time I was watching this, I actually fell in love with Slimer very, very quickly, especially since the first time that I saw him, I absolutely adored and loved everything. This movie had really, really good characters, and I'm surprised I was sold on this because I hated horror movies when I was younger, and then this scene happened. And from that moment on, I was fucking hooked on Ghostbusters. Yes, this became almost like crack to me. I would talk about it, I would reference it, I would watch it every single goddamn October that this movie would come on, and I still do. Hard to believe that a film can impress me at the young age of just 4. And really, I fell in love with it just as much as I did Tremors, which was the very, very first horror movie I've ever watched. And I was only 4 or 5. One or the other, but I grew up loving it. And I really, really loved Ghostbusters. It was just one of the most really awesome phenomenons that you could ever experience. And it became a cult phenomenon when it first started, as it was no time sooner that you would also see, or there would be Ghostbusters 2, which I also share kind of a love with, but very much similar to most people that talk about Ghostbusters 1 and 2. They kind of say that 2 is not that great. And the more that I look back at Ghostbusters 2 and everything, while it's still as quotable and as memorable as the original Ghostbusters, it still had its shares of a few flaws and everything. It's not a perfect movie, but it's not the worst movie that you have seen, because you could think of 1,000 more that you could do. And I watched them back to back on an old cable channel, and forgive me because I can't remember. I don't think AMC was going on at the time, but that's usually where I would watch Ghostbusters all the time and I never knew the name of the movie until I was roughly about 13 to 15 years old, and I knew I had to track down a copy, and finally I tracked down a box set copy, and I talked the people at the tag sale down and only giving it to me for $1 a piece. Thankfully, they were able to just politely let me do that, in fact. But this movie is these movies, in fact, are just so damn memorable, they're so damn rewatchable. And it's hard to believe that just at 4 years old, I'm like, wow, all of this looked amazing and everything. And it really does impress me that, like, yes, that jump scare hit me, and I fell in love with this movie, but yet I grew up hating horror movies until I turned 16 or 17, when I officially started watching horror movies and kind of getting into the genre and everything. Yeah, no joke. I steered away from horror movies for 13 years, despite only being 4 years old and watching Ghostbusters, and either 4 or 5 years old watching Tremors. I was a weird kid, I guess you could say. Ghostbusters, just like the original Superman for me, will be one of the movies that I will always and forever cherish and talk about, and hell, I'll even cherish these movies with my family in the future. I know that I will forever and always love Ghostbusters. What about the rest of you? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know your own Ghostbusters memory. Did you grow up with the film? Did you not grow up with the film? Let me know. And also let me know which Ghostbusters film is your favorite, who is your favorite Ghostbusters, all that good stuff in the comments down below just for the hell of it. And let's all have a happy Ghostbusters day. And what's awesome to me is that Ghostbusters is still growing. We had the awesome Xbox 360 game that I finally got to play when we were all stuck in quarantine, and loved the absolute shit out of it. We finally got a new stream Ghostbusters for newer fans and older fans like myself. Still have to see Ghostbusters Frozen Empire though. Maybe next year. But it's just one of the best film franchises ever made. I mean, when people talk about Ghostbusters, there is a good reason, and it's just a franchise that just started from something small and then became a lot bigger because of it. And I do love these movies. I don't want them to go anywhere, and I am going to share these movies with my kids if I should ever have children in the future. Also, my favorite Ghostbuster was always Egon, so rest in peace. And also, my favorite movie, probably to this day, is a tie between the original and Ghostbusters Afterlife. Afterlife really surprised me by how damn good it was, and it almost made my number one film. It's just that, well, my favorite superhero topped out. Yep. Well, anyways, happy Ghostbuster Day to you guys. Let me know who your favorite Ghostbuster is in the comments down below. And while you're down there, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified every single time I make an upload. And also click the link to my Twitter in the description down below just to keep updated with me and see what I'm working on and what I'm doing. But I've been the Wade Universe. I'm White Nerdy. Keep you on. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, and as always, take care.